Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is
Really own.
Tuesday, December 23rd. It is 6:29 right now. We have market opening up shortly in a few moments. Looking over here at the breakout is listed on the list of trades for today. It's going to be a buy. So if you guys are looking to get into this, market's going to open up shortly in about 20 seconds. If you guys want to take the breakout, feel free to take it. It's going to show up pretty shortly. So morning, Ben. Morning, Steven. Morning, Mendez. The breakout's bullish today, Steven. Morning, Masish. Morning, Lila. Morning, everybody. Yeah, so we got the breakout right here at 6:29. It's coming up. It's going to be against momentum. 10.31 max drawdown, 59% weighted average. There you go, the breakout. It's pushing up as we speak. So market is open right there. It hit 40 points already. So if you guys went for the 40 points, it already hit full TP right there. If you went for the 40-20 or if you went for the 40-40. Um, Yeah, there goes 40 points. If you're going for the bigger move, 50-50, 50 already hit two. And if you're going for the even bigger move at 80, it's going to hit right now as well. So, I mean, it's still pushing up, but it hit 40 already, hit 50. If you want to move your stop loss in profit, feel free to move it in profit. Oh, damn. How'd you miss it, Steven? This is the only trade you're looking at. You missed it? Yeah, so it was bullish today. If you guys saw the list, it was on the list. If it's not on the list, I mean, it's just with momentum. But if you're, yeah, you missed it, Steven. You can't miss this trade. If this is the only trade you're taking, Steven, you can't miss it because now you're screwed. You took a loss yesterday and you could have made it back today plus double win. I mean, it's all good, Steven. Yeah, this trade was posted yesterday. So again, if you guys have if you have access to the algo page, which you do, Steven, or other people do, this page was or this trade was posted yesterday. It's all good, Steven. I mean, you missed it. It is what it is. Yeah, come back on Friday. So market's closed tomorrow. It's Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas, Stephen. We won't be here tomorrow. Um, I might be here on Friday. So Friday we do have market open, but typically we don't trade on the day after Christmas. The market's really, really slow. Later when we have some downtime, we'll take a look at the market the day after Christmas. I'll show you guys the market's pretty slow, so there's no point in trading it. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Anyways, we have another entry coming up shortly. So the first entry right here for the 629, it was a win. It had a max drawdown of 10%, weighted average of 59%, overall average of 50%, buy average of 69, sell percentage of 40 and or 14, and profit factor of 1.6. Looking over here at six, so we have another against momentum trade coming up at 635. This has a 9% max drawdown, weighted average of 58, overall of 55, buys of 42, and sells of 61, profit factor of 2.444. So with that being said, the entry over here at 635 is going to be a sell against momentum. So this could be a possible reversal setting up right here. Price pushed up. This is the first entry that we have listed for the algo. This could be a possible reversal and continuation back down. Or this is what we might get actually. We might get a correction back down right here and then a swing back up. Like a head and shoulders basically, right? Here, I'll just make it a little cleaner. So shoulder, head, shoulder. So this is the pattern that we might get over the next 10 minutes or so. We have an against momentum coming up in a few moments. And then after that, we have our target entries coming up as well. Steven said, LOL, I realized my trade got executed late. My stupid bot delaying software. So did you end up winning on that trade, Steven? Nice. Paul got the full TP. Yeah, Masij mentioned a slow market, hoping for a slow chop up and down. It'll probably happen in a few. I could see that. Yeah, Masij said chop bot on Friday. I think it's going to be good. Yeah, I think it's going to be very choppy on Friday for sure. Lila caught the full TP on that breakout. Nice. Mendez got the market open. Nice, nice. Hey, Seuss morning. Yeah, good job to you guys who took that breakout on open. We haven't had a breakout entry on the list of entries for a long time now. I think it's been a couple weeks, if not a whole month, I think. The last time we had, or it was on the ninth. So the ninth was the last time we had a breakout on open. It was actually with momentum, so it just kind of shifted a little bit. So yeah, basically a whole month with no breakout on open. So we have the next target entry, or not target entry, we have the next listed entry coming up shortly, a few moments. For those of you who are looking to get into it, it has a flickering momentum right there, obviously. The flickering momentum is actually good for it's good for against momentum trades because it's indicating that momentum is shifting down. So this right here is going to be a sell for against momentum at 635. So once this candle closes, it has a 9% max drawdown, weighted average of 58, overall of 55, buy percentage of 42, sell percentage of 61, and a profit factor of 2.4. So it could be a good setup if you guys are looking to get into it. It's not a target entry, but it is a listed entry for those of you who are looking to jump into this position here. I'm not getting into it, of course. I'm looking for my first target entry for the day, so we'll see. Paul said I bought a Tradeify footed account, but I'm having some trouble learning the fundamentals of Tradeivate. Uh, what are you having trouble with, Paul? I could hopefully maybe walk you through it. Yeah, if you'd be a little more specific with what you're having issues with, maybe walk you through it. We got some downtime for the next entry. Nice. So Smith got the opening break on NQ. So Paul is asking what index type to use. I mean, depends on what you're trading. If you're trading, it's right here on my screen. So if you're trading YM, which is US 30, you're going to trade YM. I believe we're on YMZ right now. So if you type in YM and you click the drop down here, we're actually on YMH. So we're on March because December's over, I think. Yeah. So we're in what your symbol would be YMH 2026 because we're already in December. So you're going to be using the March contract. So your symbol is going to be YMH 2026 or YMH 26, whatever it is on TradingView or Tradeovate. Setting up your TP stop loss. I mean, you can't see it on my screen because I'm not showing my Tradeovate, but like up here, there's a box that says how much contracts to put in, and then you can set your TP stop loss right next to it. Contract size. I mean, you're gonna have to, yeah. So like Missy, you said they have tons of tutorials in their system, so you have to watch those because I mean I could tell you exactly where they're at, but I don't know exactly like I can't show you on my screen. And then knowing your contract size depends on like I mean how much you're looking to risk. The formula is contract size times let me see, I think I might have it here. Or I could probably show you a little later. I think you're better off finding a video. The contract size is going to be here's the formula. So I mean, it depends on how much you're looking to risk, right? So how much it the formula varies by your specifics. So you have to know what your stop loss is. You'd have to know how much money you're looking to risk. Because I don't know if you use a fixed TP stop loss. I know you're kind of using like different TP stop losses. So for me, I use a fixed TP stop loss, so I know exactly the formula. Like for me, it's contract size equals uh risk. So it's like risk divided by 30 because that's my stop loss, 30 points divided by 5. Yeah, that's about it. That's my formula, right? So like for example, if I'm doing a 300 or a 300K account, 7,500 divided by 4. So this is how much I could risk per day divided by 30 divided by 5. I could use a max of like 12 contracts. But obviously I'm not going to use it 12 contracts, right? But that tells me exactly how many contracts I'm using. So I mean that's the formula. This would be, yeah. So basically this is the formula. Your contract size is going to be risk divided by stop loss divided by 5 because each point is $5 for the contract size. But yeah, you should probably find a specific video for all those other things that you're looking for. Um, yeah. Let's see. And to connect your Tradeovate, there's a button right here. So you have to go into your Tradeovate, like log into your Tradeovate. So you have to go to the Tradeovate website. So go to the Tradeify website, log into your Tradeify, go to your settings, and then enable Trading View. And that's how you do it. I'm assuming this is your first time trading futures, so that's probably why you're super confused. It's a little different, but once you understand like how everything works, it makes a lot more sense and it's a lot better than whatever you were trading before, MT4 and stuff like that. Because MT4 is really outdated. And right here you're trading on a centralized market, so it's everything's like the pricing's the same. Your pricing is probably way different on like MT4, MT5, or I don't know what platforms are being used now. Because nobody trades CFDs. CFDs are illegal in the US, which is why I'm surprised people still use them. I know some people like to use like Trade Locker and stuff like that, but that stuff's you're not supposed to be trading that in the US. That's why everybody trades futures now. All right, so let's see what we got over here. So Wes said, "Hey Sean, is the second target entry supposed to be there? Drawdown is over 8%." Uh, yes. So. Well, I mean, technically, I wouldn't take this one. I'm going to be aiming for the first one, of course. I mean, obviously, you can't see my screen, but back to what you were saying. So we changed the criteria a little bit. The reason why we changed the criteria mainly was because of the deep analysis, right? So the deep analysis, the only entry filters that we use to get that win percentage with the data over 5 years is we only use the overall win rate and weight it. So the max drawdown, and profit factor, those are like additional confluences. So you could kind of weigh them in your favor, right? So you can kind of determine whether, okay, is it too high or is it too low? Because sometimes you'll see that the um the max drawdown is going to be like on the line, right? Sometimes it's going to be like 8.1, 8.2, 9, 10, etc. Um, so you can make a choice whether you want to take it or not. I mean, for me personally, I'm only taking the first one anyways. Or if it's a no entry, I'll be looking for the next one. But the problem with these two is that they're a cluster of entries, right? So if I get a no entry for 648, I'm probably going to get a no entry for 649, right? So if they're both they're either both going to be an entry or they're both going to be a no entry. So. Yeah, that's why I'm not really focused on the second one. I'm really mainly focused on the first one. But yeah, the criteria just slightly changed just a little bit. Here, I'll put the criteria up here. I know this isn't the standalone. I'll just update here a little bit. Here, I'll actually update it here too. So I'm just going to update it a little bit, slightly. Yeah, I mean the drawdown, you want to keep the drawdown as low as possible. You just don't want it to be uh excessive, right? Like I think 9% is going to be okay, but you don't want it to be like over 10%. I think over 10% is where it becomes a little excessive in a sense. Okay, so here is the criteria right there, guys. Basically, just to have it listed, it's going to be 50% win rate, 50% overall. I might have to change this a little bit, but I mean, I'll leave that as is for now. I think I'll leave it as is because I'd rather have some listed trades to see what to be following. But yeah, this is what's going to be really important. It's going to be the weighted win average, which has to be above 60, and then the overall win rate, which has to be above 55%. Because we don't want to limit ourselves to like where there's no entries at all, right? So that's why I have them set up like this for the most part. All right, so we got the entry coming up shortly in a bit. There's not too much going on here right now. Let's take a look at the overall trend. Overall trend's a little mixed right now. 1 minute's bullish, 5 minutes bearish neutral, 10 minutes bearish neutral. 30 minute is shifting to bearish. 1 hour is bullish, and 4 hours bullish. Now looking over here at the market structure is currently bullish on the 1 minute, strong bullish, neutral on the 5, bullish on the 15, bearish on the 30, bullish on the 1 hour, and neutral on the 4 hour. Looking over here at the market profile, we're currently at the value low right now. It's stuck at the value low. It rejected off the point of control. This is the daily candle right here. We have a nice wick on the bottom, so it looks like it's trying to push right back up. Now looking over here at the orb, if you guys are taking the orb or looking to take the orb, why does the orb look weird? Huh. I don't know why the orb looks super weird today. But, oh yeah, it's because that candle is huge, that opening candle. So the orb still hasn't broken outside yet, if you guys are looking to take the orb. And back to our main chart over here. So we have a pending momentum right here at 645. So as long as we don't get a pending momentum from now until our entry, I'll be looking to get into this. Our first target entry. Now looking at these candles over here, it's nice bullish on the 1 minute, bullish on the 5, bullish on the 10, bullish on the 30, bullish on the 1 hour. The 4 hour has a very nice wick on the bottom. And also looking at the market profile, like I mentioned earlier, huge wick right here, right? So it's looking good right now for a buy if we get that. Only thing that we want to be careful for is going to be that pending momentum, of course. So we'll see. Let's see. Masij said also, Sean, for most prop firms, even in eval, you can't run ChopBot for a day and qualify because you can't have more than 50% of your profits to qualify in 1 day trading. So you would need to run it for 3 days with a goal of 1,000 a day. Yeah, exactly. The only time you'd be able to use it would be if they have 1 day pass with like Apex. Exactly, yeah. So, or you could just wait for the promo to come up and then do it when the promo's there. All right, guys, we have the entry coming up right here in a bit. Um, this is going to be the one at 648. So just got to make sure there's no pending momentum coming up, no flickering momentum. Yes, Drew. Still on 60/30. I think we're going to continue using 60/30 long term for the most part. All right, so I'll be watching it right here.
Order submitted.
So let's see.
Order submitted.
So we got about like 20 seconds left on this candle right here. 10 seconds. All right, so the candle's closed right there. Entry is all right
Filled.
here. Kind of seems coming down strong right now. This might stop me out.
Order filled.
Watching it right now. I'm at like, I got stopped out. All right, so there goes that trade, unfortunately. I took a loss on that. It took
Stop
smaller
filled.
risk on that, so I didn't really take I guess I considered a big loss on it. So I traded about half my accounts right there. I mean, I got spiked out on that. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing comes right back up. It's horrible, horrible chop right there. Look at this big wick on that candle. So I got wicked out right there on that one. Look at that. Price came down and retested the uh the sessions right here. I mean, it is what it is. Took the loss on that trade. Let me check the pending momentum. Did it have a pending momentum? It didn't. So that trade was a valid loss, fair loss there. Um, Man, that was I hate when this happens, right? Where like, so it spiked out right there, and I wouldn't be surprised if this thing comes all the way back up. And that's exactly what's happening right here. Super, super unlucky on that trade. Looks like, yeah, this thing's gonna come right back up. Frustrating trade right there. Yep. There we go. It comes right back up. Let me go and just move this a little bit. Yeah, literally just spiked, and now it's where it's supposed to be. All right, well, it looks like I'm taking my loss for that. So there's another trade here which came up right after at 649. That was the one that was right after it. There's two running alongside each other. That was the first one. I took the loss on the 648, and then this is the 649, which is currently running right next to it on its way right back up. So eating that loss for that one right there. Was it a 635 entry over here? 635. Well, not the way I wanted to take this trading day, but we'll keep watching here as price continues to move along. Anyways, mark the loss for that one right there. So this is a loss for today. The next one, it's just going to be I mean, we'll document it, but I'm only taking one trade for the day. So what I do when I take my trades, guys, is I take one trade, and then if I take the loss for the day, then I'm for the most part done. Yeah, for the most part, I'm done. Uh, Here, let's see. I'm gonna update my Trader Sync. So what I did with my Trader Sync or with my accounts, I pretty much lowered my size. So like, I usually take, and I'll show you guys right now. I'll update it. I lowered my size in a sense because I didn't want to go below my threshold, right? My goal here was to hit a million for the year, and that's where I'm trying to stay above. Um, Here, let me just update my trades on my Trader Sync, and then I'll show you guys where I'm at. Yeah, this was kind of expected with the market chop. If you guys traded with me yesterday, you guys saw there was a lot of chop there. But looking back at the trade, I mean, everything kind of looked as it should have. Here, I'll put the list of trades because I'm done with my trades for the most part today. So let me put the list of trades up here real quick. Okay, so the 23rd right here. So here is the list of trades for today. I mean, there's more trades coming up, but for the most part, I'm done with my target entries for the day. Um, let's just go back and review, and this is why I called that trade a fair loss, right? The trade over here at 648, it had a 7.97 max equity drawdown. So this indicated that this trade only loses a certain amount back to back before it ends up coming back in profit. This trade's been losing for a bit. So like, me and Masij have talked about this in the past, where if it's had like two losses, the odds of it winning on the next one are very likely. So the weighted average here was 60%, overall was 55, the buy percentage was 66.67, and the sell percentage was 37.50. So with that being the case, the profit factor is 2.157 for a buy. And that's why we took the buy right there, right? The only problem or the only thing that really screwed with our position right here is that price spiked down on this candle and it basically stopped us out before coming right back up, right? And this happens sometimes. You can't really predict that stuff like this is going to happen where you have a volatility spike. It just happens, so, right? You get wicked out of a trade. And that's exactly what happened here. I got wicked out and then price pushed right back up right after. So going back to what we were just talking about, this is why I considered it and I called it a fair loss because everything was followed as planned, right? Um, we didn't get in early, we didn't get in late. We had good max equity drawdown, we had good weighted average, good overall, good buy side, and the profit factor met the criteria. So that's what you have to understand with trading, guys. Like if you have a fair loss, perfectly fine, right? Take your loss and move on. If this was a different case, like say for example, I had a really big max equity drawdown, the weighted average wasn't super high and like they just didn't meet the criteria, but I had profit factor. This is what I would consider a bad loss, right? Because you is like more of a forcing trade in a sense because the criteria doesn't meet. So took that one right there, and we'll see what we got next. So yeah, if you guys are still looking to get into more trades, there's still opportunities over here. The 649 is still technically running right now. Obviously, like I mentioned, I'm only taking one trade per day. The reason why I'm doing that is because I'm limiting my drawdown, right? So when I take a trade, because I'm only taking one trade per day, I only have a max risk of 2%, which is not a lot, right? It's 2% per account. I have a max win probability or win R multiple of 4. So basically, this is a weekly trading plan, 1 day per day, max. One win equals 4% gain. One loss equals 2% loss. So this is basically all I'm doing. I'm doing a 1% or I'm taking one trade per day max. Sometimes there's going to be no trades. Like yesterday, there was no trade because there was a flickering momentum. Um, one win per day will equal a 4% gain. One loss per day will equal a 2% loss, right? So the reason why we're doing this is because there's 5 trading days a week. Only need 2 wins per week to be profitable. So this is basically my trading plan. One trade per day max using a 1 to 2 risk reward. If I ever win, it's going to be a 4% gain. If I ever have a loss, it's a 1% or 2% loss. So with this being the case right here, I didn't take a trade yesterday, right? And I'll put my list, or I'll just make this a little smaller so I can. So we'll see. I mean, I'm going to see how the market is on Friday. If the market looks okay, then maybe I'll trade on Friday. Because I need one win to basically recoup my loss, right? So here's this week's stats. So Monday, no trades. Today's Tuesday, one loss, negative 1R. Wednesday, Christmas Eve, no trades. Thursday, no trades. Friday, need one win to profit for a week. So this is basically like what I need for this week, right? I took one loss today. It's not that big. It's a 1 hour loss, which is a 2% loss. If there's going to be no trading on Wednesday because it's Christmas Eve, no trading on Thursday, but on Friday, if I trade on this day and I have one win, I can still profit for the week. Because if I do win on this, it's going to be a 1% or it's going to be a 4% gain for a 2 hour win. So we'll see. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. Looking at this right here, this 649 trade is still running. It's actually really choppy right now. So we're actually getting a lot of chop here at the moment. Let me go over here to this chart and I'll just mark up. So our earlier entry was right here. Yeah. So we do have some market chop right now. It's not like super choppy, but it is starting to chop up as you guys can see right there. Prices is kind of sitting in between this area right now. Man, I'm still shocked that we got into that huge spike right there. Oh, I'm not really shocked, but yeah. You guys can see the chop over here off the orb too. So if you guys are looking to take the orb, I mean the orb is also not working. It's just price is stuck in this chop. It looks like the orb lined up with our position. So if you guys were looking to take the orb, or for those of you who are trading the orb broke right here at 647. So this thing lined up with our entry exactly. So same setup right there for the orb, which is the setup for the trade that I took and we got stopped out right there. So depending on your orb entry, it looks like most people have gone stopped out here if you got in at that same thing. So there were some confluences right there. The orb broke at our same price. Let me see if there's any market flow V2s which came up right here. Market opened up at 630. I'm looking for the wick rejections off the so double wick rejection right here. No fills for the market flows. Okay, so I'm looking at this right here. There's actually a entry here for market flow V2. Um, actually, no, I take that back. There wasn't. This rejected off pivot one, and this one rejected off pivot two. So there's actually no market flow V2s here, at least not within this area. Okay, well, we're still following it right here. So this is the entry at 649. It's still running. There's other entries right here. So you can see they kind of overlap. 454, there's one right here. Another one running. Here, I'm going to update the spreadsheet right now. We're mainly looking at, so I'm going to leave 649 alone. 654 is going to be an overlap because we don't overlap positions. 655 also overlap. 658 also overlap. Yeah, I mean, these are all overlap positions. So right here, 658, it's running in line with the 650, 649 position right there. Overlaps, yeah. What else we got here? Six. Okay, I've updated it. So the spreadsheet is updated, guys, if you guys are following it on here. For this week so far, we're just one negative R for the official entries. There's just one trade taken this week, so we don't really have. This is what sucks about holiday weeks. We don't have a lot of opportunity to recoup, right? Yeah, so this is the week so far. Um, yeah, we just took one trade for this week, which is this one right here at 648. Other than that, there was nothing else here. There's no entries yesterday. Um, these are the current trades right now. This one's currently active. 649. You know what? Actually, now that I see it, this would be an overlap position too, because they're running at the same time. So this would be an overlap skip trade. So there's really only one trade for the day so far, which is this one. So you guys can see over here from the spreadsheet, I put overlap skip. This is because all of these trades are running alongside, or it was running alongside this one right here. 48 was running alongside 49. Everything over here is pretty much running alongside 49 because it's going sideways, right? Let's see. Yeah, Justice said not a fan of this choppy market. Been a rough past couple of days. Yeah, it's been super choppy. I mean, it's expected because we have the holidays, but I wasn't expecting it to be this choppy, honestly. I thought it was going to move at least somewhat directional, especially because we had this big breakout here on open, right? So that big breakout right there on open is is why I was a little uh thrown off by the market here just dying out right after. Roland said got wicked out as well. One trade a day, on to the next. Well, for the algo trades, do you enter the next minute candle or do you enter exactly at 648? I entered on the 648 candle. So it's on the close of the candle, Roland. So as soon as this candle here closes, like whatever is listed, that's when the entry happens. So like for me, I entered right at the close of the 48. So I put a pending order there, and what happened was um what I usually do is I put a limit order like down here, and then when this candle closes, I just drop it like right there, and then it fills. So I get exact price to avoid slippage. So all right, let's see what else we got here. Paul said he's up 2K for the day. His trade yesterday hit a stop loss and profit. Nice. Paul wants to share his screen. Okay, give me 1 second, Paul. Let me see if there is anything else here that I need to cover before we do that. All right, let's see. Hey, Sam, morning. Glenn said, Sean, I was thinking maybe we can use the algo to identify the direction of the market during our live sessions, maybe identify if it's going to be bullish, bearish, ranging, and just use it as a confluence. Yeah, that's what a lot of people use. So like that's what CJ uses and what a lot of other people use. They use the algo to identify entry points, but they use the strategies for actual entry, or the opposite. They use it as a confluence. You could use the algo data for however you like, right? You don't need to use it for like actual entries. You can use it to identify direction, just like you said. Like for example, here we have a cluster of buys right here, right? Between 648 and 658. So like between this period, you'd expect price to be bullish. I mean, it's not really bullish here, but it is holding, right? It's holding above this support. So if you wanted to take something like a market flow V2, MPS V2, etc., you can be looking for those types of entries there. So yeah, you can use it as a confluence. You don't have to use it as actual entries. But the reason why we're using it as actual entries is because we have the data here that shows that it has, positive probability. You just have to take the trade. Like here's the statistics for using a fixed, right? This is identifying 1,124 1,124 trades. It identified 472 wins, 652 losses. The win rate's 42%. Net P&L, this is just with one contract, is 43,800. P&L per trade is profitable. Profit factor is 1.448. So the statistics here show that like obviously, it works long term. You just have to use it. And I think that's the
Connection
problem with a
lost.
lot of traders is that they're not able to focus on one strategy, right? They want to do something different, kind of similar to like what you're referring to, Glenn, right? Like, you want to use different strategies and you want to use it as a confluence. You could do that, but the numbers here indicate that it's profitable long term. So what happens is you just have to eat the losses when the losses happen because there is drawdown, right? So I'm looking over here at the statistics, and it shows that, there's a max of 9 max losses. So like there's going to be some instances where you have 9 back-to-back losses. That's just the case. That's how the trading strategy works. But then you're going to have win streaks where you have 11 back-to-back wins, right? So you do the math there, obviously, you'd have 9 losses, but then you'd have 11, and it's an R multiple of 2 because we're doing a 1 to 2 risk reward. You'd have a 22R max minus 9. You'd still be a net R multiple of 13. So it obviously makes sense to apply it as is. So there's a way that you can, I mean, if you don't want to use it as is, that's perfectly fine. You can use it however you like, but the data here shows that it's something that works long term. So I mean, that's the whole thing with trading, right? Trading is like a marathon. You're not supposed to be like consistently winning all the time. You're going to have drawdown periods. Here, I'll just put the statistics over here for that last entry, the 48. Yeah, so for this specific time at 48, the drawdown period is about 7%. So I do 2% per trade. This means that there's about a 3 to 4 max losses. And here are the statistics, right? You can see over here, for every one loss, there's like 2 or 3 wins, right? There was 2 losses right here, and then a win streak of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a losing 2 losses right here, 2 wins. Because we're doing a 1 to 2 risk reward, you lose 2, but you make 4. Same with this one over here. But you can see that it's been choppy for the past couple, basically since December 10th. So from December 10th, it's been like couple losses, couple wins, couple losses, couple wins, 1 loss. Um, and that's the whole point of doing a 1 to 2 risk reward, right? Because the losses are okay. You just have to take the losses. But then when the wins happen, you recoup the losses very quickly. That's all I was saying for this week. We have 1 loss for Tuesday, no trades on Monday, no trades for Wednesday, Thursday. But if I take 1 win on Friday, I'll be back in profit. So it's just up to preference of however you want to apply it. And this also ties in with Kenda's question too. So Kenda's asking if a coin flip decided whether to take the algo entry, do you think you would have an equal or worse better chance of a win? Um, there's no statistical edge when you're flipping a coin. It's a 50-50% chance. So like the thing is if you were to take an algo entry and you flip a coin and you miss a win, then you're going to be at negative edge, right? So no, I don't think a coin flip would help with that. I if you're going to do a coin flip, you would just take a trade either way, right? It's either buy or sell. You're not going to coin flip off an algo entry when you have the statistics in front of you, right? It has a 60% weighted average of winning, 40% weighted average of losing. So your odds are better if you're taking the odds, the actual odds versus flipping a coin. So no, I don't think a coin flip's going to help with anything. If you're doing a coin flip, you might as well just take a trade at any point, right? Like you don't have to follow a specific algo entry. You just flip a coin and then you take it, the buy or the sell on open. That's probably gonna be your best option because that's where the volatility is highest. Um, even with the entry here on open, so that entry right there that happened just now at the open. So I would say this is a coin flip type entry because it doesn't have consistency long term, but you can see over here that it was profitable today and it did hit. So like if you were to take this specific entry, let me save this. And I'll just refresh this real quick to include today's day. Yeah, so looking at this right here, I'm still surprised that this trade is still running. So the 649 trade is still running. We're still in the same chop. This might be a real sweet spot for you right now. Message to run the chop pot. You probably are running it already. Nice, nice. Okay, you're running it. Sweet. Yeah. So I think the good time to enter the chop bot would have been like right over here. Like once the range was established, I think like the second retest, this would be the perfect time to run the chop bot. And they would run back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Gotcha. Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's exactly where I would have pointed out, right? So yeah, Siege got in at 655 right there, and then basically cut all this chop. So yeah, nice. Kenda's asking, would a coin flip metric have better or worse stats? That's what I'm telling you too, Ken. So I don't know how to explain it to you. The coin flip, there's no statistical edge with the coin flip, right? So that's what I'm trying to get to. There's already an edge here, so there's no like the coin flip wouldn't do anything. If anything, the coin flip's going to make it worse because you're going to avoid trades that could have been wins, right? The thing is, if you took every single trade, say for example, you took 100 trades with this specific time, it's going to win 60% of the time, right? If you have a sample. Does that make sense? Kinda, I don't think you're understanding the whole concept of the edge here. Because if you're going to use a coin flip, it's going to throw off the entire edge. There's no edge with the coin flip. Yeah, Masih said, who is talking about the coin flip? LOL. You could take all or 50% and you'd still have the same win rate. Yeah, exactly. The coin flip doesn't do anything because the percentage is already there. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't matter if you flip a coin or not, you're still going to have a 50-50% chance because the thing is, you're not going to be based off the probabilities. The coin flip is just it's nothing that you can use. There's no coin flip. That's what I'm trying to get across. Um, yeah, I don't know how to explain it to you, but yeah, short answer to your question is no, coin flip does not make sense in any aspect. It doesn't matter if it was this strategy or any other strategy, the coin flip does make sense. It doesn't give you a statistical edge. You're at 50% either way. If anything, it's going to do worse because you'd win 60% of the trades, but if your coin flip tells you not to take the trade, then you'd be less than 60%, right? So yeah, no. The quick answer to your question is no, it just doesn't make sense. Like you could do it for any strategy, but if you're gonna do a coin flip, the coin flip is a strategy of its own. All right, yeah. So Masij over here is asking, do you want me to help with the market flow V2 algo? Yeah, sure. So I'll let you take over right now. Paul, sorry, we can't really run yours right now because we still have a lot of trades here, so we don't really have downtime. So I'll let Masij run the market flow algo, and then I could probably help you maybe after that because we do have some downtime after 7:21. But we had all these entries right here that still came up, but they're overlapping. So this trade right here at 6:49 is still running right now, guys. This is the second target entry. So I'll list it over here. I mean, I wouldn't put an overlap on this one, but for this one, obviously, this is gonna be an overlap. Overlap. I'll put win, overlap. I'll just put overlap. I mean, overlap means there was no trade to begin with. There we go. I don't know if it's won yet. It's gonna win right there. It's almost at it. So going back to our trade here again, guys, just reviewing this 48 with 49. Literally our 48 trade would have been fine if we didn't get stopped out right there, but it is what it is. You got caught in the stop out, and then this trade's currently running. But yeah, Masij, if you want to run, oh, okay, okay. No, that's no problem. Yeah, if you want to walk me through it, just tell me and I can pull it up. I have it up right here. So I don't know if there's anything specific that you need on. All right, go into settings. All right, so for K2, need the data sources. All right, cool. So Masij over here created this tool. He's basically walking me through it right now. Okay, so for the data sources, I'd choose level 2 like that, or level 1, level 2, and I'll set this up with the, okay, no, it makes sense now how this works. Where is the, so I'm looking for the buy signal and the sell signal. I have it on my chart, but for some reason it doesn't show up on my settings. Oh, okay, okay, never mind. Sorry. So buy signal. Oh, okay, okay. No, makes a lot of sense now. Okay. So I think, is this it? Okay, gotcha. Oh, okay, so this identifies pretty much every market flow entry. Is that right, Nasish? Got you, making sense. Okay. Maybe we could set this up where there's like is there a time settings that you can set it? We could probably do that later. But yeah, probably we can probably set it up where it's like between 6:30 and 8. I mean, this is good to see like the bigger sample. It's a lot of trades. So 1,277. This is within less than a month. But that's still pretty good. Yeah, because I think if we could do a time parameter where we could only look at like certain periods, we could maybe just look at market flow V2s at certain times, and then taking this with a smaller probability. I mean, this is pretty good overall. So guys, this is a tool that Masish created. This is to give us like basically the statistics on like market flow V2. Um, yeah, because there's a lot. There's a lot there. Yeah, TP just hit right there, Miss Rashida. So full TP right there on 649. So if you look at the stats for this for today so far, we're actually in profit if you took both of the trades. I mean, it took a really, really long time for it to hit, but it did finally hit right there. Um, off that one. Yeah, let's see. So CJ mentioned rather than doing a coin flip, they would be better off taking every trade on the algo list at one contract and still come up on top. I know this because I did it for a PA account and it got consistent payouts. I recently only stopped because I was doing it a forward testing at higher time frames. So don't be afraid, just trade. Yeah, exactly. So CJ is like a clear example of like if you took every trade, you would make profit if you took the algo entries, right? It's the same with what I'm doing right here. So we did the R multiple for just the target entries. If you took every single entry from basically November 3rd up until yesterday, it would be a 9R for every trade. Or sorry, for every yeah, for just these specific trades here. If you took all the trades that were listed here, it'd be a 17R. If you took Sorry, let me explain that again. So if you took every single trade here that's listed for target entries, you'd have a 9R for every trade. If you only took one trade per day from November up until yesterday, you'd have a 17R. So these are the stats that show you that it's better to take one trade per day and just take a loss or take a win. For December, it's currently at 6R. It's currently now at 5R because we took this loss right here. Here, I'll just update this a little bit. So since we're down 1R, this would be 8R. This right here would be 16R, which is still good, and this would be a 5R. So these are the differences. This is if you took every single trade that was a target entry, you'd be at 8R for basically 2 months. You'd be at 16R if you took only one trade per day, like what we're doing now. And then if for December, if you just took one trade per day, you'd be at 5R. So you just gotta, I mean, you have to take the trades that are meant for whatever you're applying, right? If you want to take every trade, that's fine. If you want to take just one trade per day, it gives you a higher R multiple. You just have to be able to cut it off. Like for example, right here, I took a loss, right? I got to cut it off after that one loss. And then if I have a win on Friday, then it'll bring it back up. But yeah, there goes the trade right there at 649. This thing took a long time to hit, but it ended up hitting. So good to see right there. Everything else was just an overlap. So 712, this is an overlap. Yeah, because the trade didn't hit until like right now, 721. This would be a no entry actually. So 717, no entry, no entry. 12. Actually, let me go over here real quick. So this is no entry. We just didn't have any sells because the buy signals were up. All right, there's two last entries here at 740 and at 749. This is going to be against momentum. Typically don't take these, but we'll follow it to see if they actually come up. They're going to be for buy entries later on down here. Let's see. Dijon said the whole time I was thinking stop loss for my 649 trade was too wide because I was still stuck in it, but I just closed out. Nice, Dijon, on catching profit on that. NPSV2 with Sam. Dijon said about 600 away from one account. The other is away from. Nice, okay. So Dijon's almost done with that as well. Yeah, Sam said he came with a plan, executed, and made money on it. Dijon said, yeah, probably needed that second buy momentum for the extra push. Yeah, it finally came up right here, right? So, unfortunately, the first trade right there at 648 just got caught in the chop. This one did run for a really long time, though. The 649, this thing ran for, here, let me put the statistics over here. So that was probably one of the longest trades that has ran for 649. Let me just update it real quick. Yeah, so 649 right here. This trade ran for about uh 32 minutes. It's a long time. If you look at the trade analysis over here, so the average minutes per trade is 11. Yeah, so this trade usually only lasts about 11 minutes overall. This specific trade lasted about 32 minutes. For the winning trades, it usually hits within 9 minutes, and for the losing trades, it usually hits within 12 minutes. So the average is about 11 minutes for how long this trade lasts for. This trade lasted almost three times that. So this would be considered an irregular trade because it usually doesn't take that long for this trade to hit. Ended up hitting, of course, that's good, but it doesn't usually take that long for something like that to hit. Yeah, Rashida also mentioned levels hit also off the 48,700. Nice, yeah. Looks like it right there, right? Broke right past it and it's starting to hold above it. Nice work, Rashida. Good profit on that right there. Here, let's see. Yeah, Masisha, I'm making it for all of the others as well. I was thinking if we added a per minute thing for the market flow, V2, then we could use it like the momentum algo. It's just more specific. Yeah, no, and I agree with you too, Masish. Um, and I'm glad you're doing that. Thanks for doing that because that's going to help us kind of put this stuff together because everything is based off the momentum algo, right? So the momentum algo here is the nucleus to all of the strategies, right? Everything is based off the momentum. And using this over here, um, the market flow V2. So I'm curious, what logic did you use for the market flow V2, Siege? Did you use just like a retest or is there a specific, like, do you need like a double rejection or I don't know. I'm curious like what logic you used. Okay, got you. Yeah. So you're just looking for it to come in and retest it. No, that makes sense. Keep it simple, right? I think that's probably the best way to do it to keep it simple because we'll have the raw data here. I think the raw data helps a lot because if we have this here, you can see that it's profitable, right? I think that's the key thing. Um, I'm really curious now. So let's do this on a higher scale. So we have this is going to be a 30-day sample, 34%. I mean, the again, we'd have to like kind of dial it down because there's just too many trades here. So the statistics aren't going to be super great. But I'm curious to see how it looks like super long term. Let's see like for a whole year. Exactly. Yeah, Jesus said kiss method. No, I think or I mean if you want to add that in, Message, you can, but I don't think it's necessary. The double, right? I think it's better to just catch it as it pushes up. And I think this is one thing that you should probably add to it, Message. Do one per momentum if you can add that. So like because see how there's so many entries here. If we could do one per momentum, I think it would increase the probabilities or the probabilities a lot higher, right? Because you can see over here like there's a buy signal, price comes up, retest, that'd just be one entry right there. And then same with this over here too, right? It's like price comes up and then just one entry per. just to have it as an option. I think if we do that, we could be able to kind of dial it in a little better. Because that's how I would apply the strategy for me personally. I would just do one per one per momentum swing. Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, awesome, Masij. Masij is gonna make some updates right there. Paul, if you're still on here, I can probably help you. I think we have some downtime right now. So if you want to hop on or if you want to confirm, we can try to help you with okay, cool. So guys, if you guys want to hang around, feel free. I'm just gonna help Paul right now. He's new to his trade of eight, so I'm gonna just let him I'm gonna help him with this thing. All right, Paul, I got you on here. If you want to share your screen, feel free. And I can kind of walk you through it.
I appreciate it. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're good.
All right, cool. Hang on, give me 1 second. Let me set myself up. See, screen one, two, okay, three. Okay, so I did go ahead and execute one trade just with the smallest contract available just to
Mhm.
test out this because a 10-minute the 10-minute snipe just set up on this one right here if you can see it.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
currently I didn't even know it's currently running in profit right now. So yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
short.
that trade yesterday, it stopped me out at 2K. I saw the momentum was dying out too hard, so I was like, I'll just move it here just in case. But yeah, good thing I did because if it went any lower, it would have hit right at my opening price. But I can't seem to figure out how to set a TP stop loss on this. Because I mean, if I could just honestly do that, like get the numbers right, like because my I want to risk only like 1% per trade. I bought a 150K account because I wanted the forgiveness. It's the same price as an eval with FTMO, but I was back testing a bunch of stuff and everything's pretty consistent with it. So that's why I went ahead and just bought this and just went more on the conservative side, but I'm trying to figure out how to actually use this. So I have a current position running with only like one contract size because I'm not sure what the math is I need to do.
Yeah, so,
But it
so
looks like I did select the right asset though. E mini Dow.
yeah, it looks good. So to do the math, you would have to be on TradingView because you don't have the actual ticket window on here.
It won't unfortunately it won't let me connect it.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, so let's go to your settings. Let's go to your top right.
here,
Or
let me do this. Here's my Tradeify. Oh, hang on, I forgot I gotta turn off my VPN.
oh, you're good. You
It
don't
do-
have to go on that. You're on the right page right now. So just go over there to your top right. There's a settings button. Or you might want to exit this position. You want to exit out of it. Just or if you want to keep it, you could. I'm just
I'm gonna keep it. This is a
okay.
10-minute setup. I don't have a TP stop loss set yet. I'm trying to set it. It's I can't figure it out.
Yeah, so to have the ATM settings, you'd have to put it in before you got into the position. So like you can do it now, but you just have to put a separate order in. So um
Well, it's too late now. I'll just have to watch it manually. If it reaches
yeah,
a
yeah.
certain dollar amount, then I'll go ahead and close out. But it's running on my FTMO right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't want to set up two separate orders without an ATM. I don't know if there's a way to do it on TradingView now, but basically what you need to do, so see right there where it says ATM, it says off, and then you're on your middle. It's like right above where it says a contract size. Go a little higher.
Oh,
Like that.
here.
Yeah, so well, you can't do it now because the click, yeah, you'd have to, or click that settings button next to it. There we go. So that's where you would set your TP stop loss. So you turn it on and then you have your TP stop loss sets wherever you want it to.
Okay, so and the ticks would be let's see,
It'd be by
a
points, yeah. So 84, okay, perfect, yeah. So now whenever you enter a position, it's going to set the automatic TP stop loss for you right there. It's um it's not going to do it now because you're already in the position, but if you enter into a new position, it'll set it up for you. So you just have to have that on. Does that make sense?
okay, that makes sense. Well,
Yeah.
that probably helps me out right now because the position's running on here now. I got in a tad later or at a little higher position, but it's roughly in the same region as my FTMO. It's right here. I already moved my stop loss and profits. Well, yeah, in like next to break even. So if I lose the trade, I don't lose anything.
Okay, perfect. If you want to do it manually, you can, but you're going to have two sitting orders, which I don't recommend. Like for example, right here, if you want to have a target, you would just go wherever, like say for example, like 48,790, if that's where you wanted to put, or do you know where you're
The
trying?
hold on, let me check my let me check here. It's up here. It's around up here
Okay.
somewhere.
Yeah, so if you just click on the chart right there, it'll like you would put your because you're in a buy position, right? So if you
Yeah, I'm
want
in
to
a
get
buy position.
if you want to get out of that position, you'd put a sell limit there. So when price comes up, it's gonna pull you out because you can only have like one, like it's a plus minus. So like right now you're currently plus one with a position. If you have a sell limit up there, it's gonna flatten you out to zero. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So yeah, that's how you do it manually, but I wouldn't recommend it
So I mean,
because yeah, if you
let's
let it
see.
sit,
So I'm currently at let's see, doing the math. I'm about 40 points. I'm currently 40 points in profit right now.
hmm.
Yeah, I'm currently 40 in profit because I'm over 1,000 on my FTMO right now.
Okay, here, let me show you how to turn on your trading view now, just so that you can get this out of the way. So
Yeah,
go to the top right. There's a settings button.
right top
Uh,
right.
yeah, go more to the right. There's a settings button right there. It's like to the very top right, a little higher. There you go, right there.
Oh, so
Application settings. There you go.
okay.
And then you go over to add-ons, the last tab, and then that right.
It says active, but it wasn't letting me do it.
Which login were you trying to log into on? I don't know if you want to do it on this
This
live
one,
because it's
this
gonna.
one.
So let's go to your trading view real quick. Don't type in your password, just copy paste it so nobody can see it. But okay, let's go then.
Cause see
Go to
here, cause here's all the stuff. There's
yeah, go to
trade
trade
evade.
evade. You got to click demo. Did you click demo?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's hold on. Okay.
You don't want to show your password though, so don't show
I
your
know
password.
I'm moving it to a second
Yeah,
screen.
do it security.
Just bear with me. Hold on.
Yeah,
Let's
no, you're
see.
good.
Okay, Tradeify. Crap, I keep forgetting I gotta turn off my VPN. All right, pause for 5 minutes. There we go. Okay, FTMO trade is still running, still in great profit. Dang, that was a heck of a setup. I actually went into a little bit of drawdown. I was like, oh boy, I'm getting a little nervous with this.
Yeah, no, it's looking good that setup you had. So I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I was literally
Yeah,
waiting
it's
for
nice.
that I was waiting for that buy momentum to close on that 10-minute candle, and it did, so I immediately just went and entered the position.
Yeah, I think you're one of the few people who still apply that snipe strategy. It still works really good though. So I'm looking at it right here.
Well,
There was a
I do like the sit it and forget it trades because I actually
Mhm.
put in $100 into S&P just to see what happens. And like if I lose, I lose.
yeah. Yeah, so if anybody here is looking at my screen, I'm sure we're sharing both screens. This is pretty much what well, Paul got into. He got into this snipe entry. It's one of the classic strategies that I created a long, long time ago on the 10-minute time frame. Basically, price pushed up, retraced, rejected off the pivot, also off structure, and then he got it from right here. So he's pretty good in profit at the moment. Um, yeah, it's up pretty nice, Paul. That was a good entry. It's always good to see people apply the older strategies that I don't even look at anymore, but they still work. So it's good to see, good to know.
Well, guess what? It worked. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't pay attention to where it said demo. So yep, see, it's working. It's live right here.
Perfect. Message, it's called a snipe strategy. 10-minute. You can use it on any time frame. So you could probably set up the code where it's like on different time frames, but it's the 10-minute snipe strategy. Yeah, it's very similar. So it's similar to the market flow V2 that you put together, Message. The only, or actually no, it's literally the same thing. The only difference is that we incorporate market structure. So we incorporate support and resistance. It's using the SRV2 indicator. So like basically what you would look for is a double confluence. You look for a rejection off the pivot, plus you look for a rejection off structure. So like say for example, right here we had this resistance and it's like aligned up with the pivot. You get a double rejection there, and then basically you just enter on the close of the candle. It's a really good strategy. I mean, a lot of people still apply it, and it works pretty well.
All right,
Yeah,
well, I'm not going to try to double dip into here with the contract size because I just need to figure that math out. But I think you've pretty much helped me out so far.
yeah.
Let me write this
Oh,
stuff down.
so go over there to your trading view. I'll just show you real quick how to. So just hit buy or just like, hit that buy button on the top left.
Oh, it says it can't be traded through this broker.
Oh, because you're on the you're not quiet.
I'm not using the YM because I didn't buy it.
Oh,
I didn't
uh,
buy the data.
so you have data now. Since you're logged into your Trade the data will be included.
So it connects with YM.
Yeah, it connects. So you could go to YM now.
Okay, I guess I just use this chart to because it's very similar to the YM. That's why I just use this one.
Yeah,
But
you can just type in YM.
okay.
I just saw Kenda's message. Ken, we're not, so I'm not talking to you, Paul, but like Kenda, the guy that was asking about the coin flip, he was saying that like we were being condescending to him and he has a math degree. We're not being condescending to you, bro. If you have a math degree, you should understand probabilities, right? Like you understand that a coin flip is a 50-50% probability. We're not trying to be condescending. We're like just explaining to you that it doesn't make sense. And having a math degree, I mean, you should understand that it doesn't have any statistical advantage. So, I mean, I'm sorry that you took it across that way, but I'm just being straight up with you. I'm being blunt, right? There's no statistical edge when it comes down to a coin toss. If you're basing it off probabilities, I mean, you should know, like, I mean, I'm assuming you know about statistics. So, like, the statistics are there. If you add a coin flip to it, it's not going to make a difference. But I just want to make that clear. I'm not trying to be condescending to you, Kenda. I was just trying to explain to you, but I didn't know how to explain it to you in a in a different way. Okay, yeah. So Paul, let's. Did you want to cover anything else, or was that are you good?
Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and stop my sharing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, glad I could help you with that. I know there was it's confusing going from US 30 to futures. It's different because you're using lot sizes, and then now you're going to contract sizes. It's pretty similar in a sense where it's just with lot sizes you can go from like I guess partials. But yeah, with futures, you have to use like a full contract size. So, okay, great. So, guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. We have another against momentum right here coming up, but this is not an entry. So at 740 right here, this was against momentum. It has a 6% max equity drawdown, weighted average of 62%. Overall probability of 55, buy percentage of 70, sell percentage of 40, profit factor of 2.4. This was a buy position because there was a buy entry already valid right there. This right here wouldn't be an entry. It would be it would be a no entry because you would need to have an opposite momentum there for it. Hunter said he needs to log in to Tradeovate and manage the trade there. Yeah, no. That's why for me, so back to what you were doing, Paul, I would just stick to one platform, right? If you're going to trade on TradingView, just stick to TradingView, or if you're going to trade on Tradeovate, stick to Tradeovate. Because if you're actively managing it on two different platforms, there's going to be some disconnect and there's going to be some connection issues. So just want to make that clear. But yeah, let me go back to the spreadsheet over here. This is a no entry. And then right here at 749, there's going to be also a no entry there as well. Or I don't know, I'm thinking there's going to be a no entry. This is going to be the last entry for the day, right over here. Yeah, Paul says he prefers TradingView. If you're trading on a 10-minute time frame, TradingView should be fine. You're only going to run into issues if you're on on the 1 minute. Masij said, well, if this guy's talking about degrees, I have a master's in data engineering and getting a bachelor's in financial engineering. Yeah, no. I mean, if anything, yeah, Masij is like the specialist when it comes down to data engineering. It's good. I'm glad that like, I mean, this is like a lot of hands-on experience for you too, Masij, because you're like actually in the markets, understanding how this stuff works, and then using our strategies and our edge, and then you're improving it and finding ways to crank out more alpha from this. So that's great. It's great, and I'm glad that you're here with us. It's going to be a win-win for all of us, like it's going to be a win-win for me, of course, because we're improving my strategies, a win-win for you guys because you guys are able to uh follow the strategies as they get better. We have pretty good strategies as is. But now that we have Masish here, this is another win-win for him as well because he gets like hands-on experience with. So this is like the disconnect with traders and coders and engineers and stuff like that, right? There's usually like people who are good at trading that are just good at trading, but they're not good at coding. And there's people who are good at coding, but they don't have experience trading. So this is a good mesh because I've been trading for, I don't know, 12, 15 years now. And then we have Masij who has the data background and coding background who can really like quantify our strategies, you know? And this just like we come together and we put together these super strategies in a sense where we have the probabilities, we have the numbers, and then obviously I can use my experience to kind of make adjustments to things. And yeah, we all win basically. So yeah, I'm excited for 2026. I mean, now that Prestige is kind of quantifying a lot of these strategies, we're going to be able to really identify things. Everything is based off the momentum though. So just keep that in mind, guys. Everything is based off this specific algo, right? The momentum, because all the strategies, like for example, the market flow V2. Let me refresh it since Message is updated. Yeah, everything is based off the momentum, right? Because that's always going to be the catalyst for the most part. And let's see. Okay, so Message over here has. I might have to re-add it, huh? I don't think it's on. It's yeah. Let me remove it and put it back on. Cool. All right. So let's see what we got here. So level one. I was wondering like what this button was for because when I first added this to my chart, Message, I was like, I know that this has to be set to something. I thought this was just like on close of price though, but now that I've scrolled down, I'm like, okay, it makes sense how it works there. I don't see any differences here. Hmm. Oh, you know what? You might have to republish it. Did you so you might have updated it? Yeah, you might have to go back to your Pine script and then hit publish and it's gonna update it to a V2. Because right, or I know it says V2 here, but it's probably gonna update it to the next version. Yeah. So you just do publish and then update existing script. And that should fix it. But yeah, guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. Just another reminder, we have Christmas Eve tomorrow, so no trading. Um, Christmas Day is going to be the day after, so obviously no trading that day. On Friday, and I'll do that right now. Let's take a look. Let's go back to the day after Christmas of last year. So December 25th was a Tuesday, 26th was oh, does Christmas always end? Or no, no, that's it's different. It was the day before. Okay, let me just replay to the 26th. Let's just see how the market moved on that day. Because if there's no point in, I mean, there's probably going to be no point in trading that day. But let me see what the ATR was 13 on the 26th of last year. Yeah, I think it's too slow. I mean, the market does move a little bit, but it's a little slow. Yeah, let's go over here to 7 o'clock. Yeah, I don't know if it's a good market to trade in, guys. So this was Christmas last year or the day after Christmas, December 26th. You guys can see the ATR was at 16, so it was a little slow. Yeah, hitting our 60 points is going to be almost impossible. Here, let's see. I'm just going to go to 648 because that's usually going to be the entry. 648, which was like, I mean, it looks like it would have been a flop. Yeah, hitting the 60 points. So this trade over here would have ran for like about quite some time. Let's go back one more day or one more year, actually. So what I'm doing here is I'm just pulling back to the previous Christmas, the day after Christmases to show you guys like how the volatility is really low. If you guys want to trade on Friday, that's completely fine. But just looking at the statistics here and showing you that like, okay, the 26th again. I don't know if I could go to the 1 minute on this one, but this is 2023. Okay, I can't go to the 1 minute because it's too far behind. But just here's the 26 candle. Let's measure it. It's not going to give us a good number. Let's see if I go to like maybe the 1 hour. Okay. So the 1 hour right here. Yeah. So you can see over here on the 26th, it moved a total of 75 points for the entire, like basically from 7 o'clock up until 8. So you guys can see here that it's just not worth trading on the day after Christmas. But again, if you guys want to trade, so be it, right? You guys can trade. If you feel the need to trade, I would say just lower your size. I'm probably not going to trade on that day, so I'm just going to take a loss for this week, unfortunately. And then we honestly only have like 1 or 2 trading days for next week. We have the 29th on Monday, we have the 30th on Tuesday. So I will be trading those days. But yeah, we have 2 more days. So hopefully like on those 2 days I can make a win and then from there we can recoup, of course. So let me go back to this is gonna be the 22nd. Or not 22nd, the year of 22. So 2022. Okay, never mind. The day after Christmas on in 2022, Christmas landed on it landed on a weekend, so there was no trading after. Yeah, actually the market was closed on that Monday. Okay, so I just showed you guys what the market looks like the day after Christmas. It's not a good market to trade in, so I personally wouldn't really recommend it as much. But if you guys want to trade it, I mean, feel free. The volatility is actually really low right now too. We're currently at 16 ATR. I'm surprised it's that low. Yeah, no, that's right. 16 ATR. You know, this might have been a sign not to trade today, but it's okay. Either way. No, the ATR was actually a little higher earlier this morning. So it was at 26, but it's now at 16. So yeah, not really worth it. All right, so Sam said, guys, have fun, enjoy Christmas, 3 wins, want to keep it this way. See you guys soon. Thanks for today, Sean. Yeah, definitely, Sam. We'll see you back here on Monday, probably. And yeah, just check the Discord. If there's no live stream posted on the YouTube, just check the Discord and we'll be on there if it's unlisted. But all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to hop into the chat. I think Message is still updating the code, so let me just see if it's been updated. Not quite. Okay, no, it's fine. I'll wait for it. No worries, Message. Take your time. There's no rush. I just wasn't sure if you were waiting for me for me to make the adjustments. Yeah, no, definitely. Sam, thanks. Yeah, it's Alina's first Christmas, so it's gonna be fun. Okay, perfect. Publish. So let me go and just re-add it on here, refresh, reload without saving. Okay, gotcha. Got the updates right here. Yeah, if you guys are curious to see how this works, um, feel free to hang around. Basically, Masij is quantifying all the strategies. He's basically giving us probabilities to show you guys that the strategies are profitable long term. Uh, the next step is really just dialing into to identify probabilities. This is actually pretty good, 49% for a 1 to 2. Oh, it's because it's at a 1 to 1. Okay, gotta change this. 1 to 2 trade session. I'm assuming this is off Eastern time, right? Here, let me go over here real quick. Uh, restricted session. Here, let's see. No, okay. So it's actual, it's Pacific time. 6:30 to 8. This is perfect. I'm glad you had it at Pacific time because the timing always threw me off a little bit. Or actually, no. UTC. Okay. UTC, that is 2 hours, I think, right? So 8:30. Yeah, the time zones always throw me off a little bit, but it's okay. Okay, yeah, no, that's right. It's 2 hours. Or no, I was off a little bit. Um, it might be 1 hour. I think, okay, I think this might be it. Ashish said UTC Europe. Okay. Um, oh, duh. Okay. So what do I put for here? I just put, I guess UTC. Does that work? Okay, perfect. Oh, thanks for doing that, Masish. I didn't realize you had that on there, that you can change that. Okay, perfect. So this is my time zone. Gotcha. Um, okay, just playing with the settings a little bit. So this is, okay, I'm assuming this is one per momentum, right? Yeah, I don't think my time zone is the yeah, the profit factor has to be closer to 2, ideally. We could always play around with it. You could do like pre-market or even London session, right? London session up until, no, it's still kind of low. 5:30. Yeah, no, it's still low around here. Here, let's do the whole New York session. I think that maybe, including pre-market, it's getting a little better. I'll say till like 12. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a sweet spot, obviously. The thing is, I think the 60/30 might not even be good, maybe a 40/20. The thing with this is that it's good because it has a um we have a limit order, so it's easier to just get it filled and push through. We'll do a 30-day sample, or we do a 90-day sample. Yeah. So yeah, I'll play around with it. I'll try to figure out like what are the best settings and whatnot. I mean, obviously there's probably another criteria that should be maybe added on. But yeah, or maybe just between like 6 and 7 might be the case. Because the thing is, for this specific strategy, I would stop applying it at a certain, yeah. So if you, profit factor is going up. I usually stop trading around 7:30 because that's when the chop starts to happen. Or maybe even not 6:30, maybe between like 6:45 to 7. But I'll play around with it and I'll try to figure out like what are the good criteria. So here's the other thing too, and I don't know if this is something that we can really incorporate. We could probably incorporate it, but it's hard to objectify it, is the red flags, right? There was like, so like in order to have the red flags, I would have like the sessions here because we would avoid trades when we're at red flags. There was just a couple different things that we incorporated that like they're not on here. Where's my session high lows? Yeah, there would just be certain entries that would be skipped in a sense. I don't know. There's just a lot of different factors that that we would kind of include. Yeah, so Miss Siege said you got two prop factor two. Okay, so you did UTC. It's just UTC on its own like that. Miss Siege 8:30 to 9:30. Okay. Yeah, well, prop factor is 1.6. That's pretty good. So it looks like your entry time would be around, yeah, it's like London Open basically for a 30-30. I think 30-30 could work pretty well with like with even my time. Yeah, prop factor is a little bit it's pretty much the same unless my UCC is different. Is that your same or your time is different because you're in Europe. But basically this would be you have a less range. Okay, 30 days probably. Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, that's good. See, the thing with this specific strategy is because there's no specific times for it. I think for this very specific one, we would have to use like entire history just to get like a real number. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty good because this doesn't ha it's not time based. So for this specific strategy, it's just like, okay, what are the overall probabilities for it, right? This is probably going to take a long time because this is going to have a lot of entries. This is good though. Okay, so like about 1,000. This is actually really good. Look at this number, guys. Crazy. Or no, it's not that good. It's okay because it's a one-to-one. But let's see 60-30. It's a lot of trades to cover. Yeah, as long as it yields a profit, I think that's like the key thing, right? Profitability, max equity drawdown, and profit factor. Like if we can get this like below 12, maybe below 10, great. But yeah, the profit factor is going to be the key thing to really look at. Here, let's see. I'm just going to do UTC 8, my time. I think the main thing here, Siege, is going to be really it's figuring out the proper TP stop loss. I think that's going to be the biggest thing here. Yeah, Miss Siege said if you could write me the criteria to avoid trades, I could add them. Okay, yeah, I'll let you I'll put a list of those. It's gonna be like mainly the sessions. New, so this is gonna be where it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be because of news, which we don't really have the data for. We could probably figure it out. But yeah, there's like news and stuff. There's like so red flags are gonna be candles are too big. It's gonna be news, which that's going to be a little kind of hard to pull because we need to have some API to like tell, news happens at this time or whatever. Yeah, exactly. We can't do news for TradingView because it's not built in. which is completely fine. We don't need news. I think sometimes like it just works perfectly fine even without it. I think the main thing we would just have to avoid would be the sessions because you can see how price gets kind of manipulative around the sessions. Like for example, right here, see how price gets near the sessions and it just rejects off it. So a lot of times when we were looking for entries here, we would avoid trades that were touching the sessions or too close to it. So I think that's probably gonna be the main thing that you might want to look at. Um, Masij, just you can include the sessions high low. Basically, if you want to create your own indicator, or I can give you the code for it. It's very simple. It's basically just like the session high and the session low. So like the New York high, New York low, London high, London low, Asia high, Asia low. Um, if the trade touches it, then the trade gets skipped. And then vice versa. Like for example, see this trade over here, how it lost? Price came down and it retraced up right here. This trade actually would have been skipped because it was touching the sessions. So if the entry has to touch the sessions, whether it hits TP or stop loss, that trade would be skipped. Yeah. Yeah, because what happens a lot of times at the sessions is that price gets manipulated, right? Price gets near it, manipulation, etc. So like basically you want trades that are in the open space, like for example down here. Like this is an open, or this isn't an open space, but like something like this over here, where there's no sessions near it. Yeah, but so yeah, the snipe strategy that we talked about earlier, Masij, I think that would be a really good one to create a back test for. Um, that because that one's very, very selective. That one's super selective. And there's also this strategy called a triple confluence. You probably saw it within the within the okay, cool, yeah. Cool, yeah. If you could share that one with me, that'd be great. That was like one of the favorites for a lot of people. Is a triple confluence where it was a confirmation of like break of structure plus momentum. Yeah, because having all this data, we can kind of incorporate this into like what we already have, right? We can incorporate the algo and then also incorporate the strategy. So if they both align together, it would make it a pretty good entry in a sense. Cool, cool. Yeah, if you want to upload the triple confluence, that'd be great. Looks like I'm gonna have stuff to do during the downtime. I feel like with trading, when the markets close, a lot of people just don't know what to do. And when I first started trading a long time ago, it was like I wanted to trade, but the market was closed. So what I would do a lot of times during the holidays is I would just back test, right? Back test, back test, back test. Um, I mean, obviously now I can't I can't do it. I'm busy, but for the most part, it's cool. It's a cool use of time to get more screen time, of course. Um, yeah, yeah. Miss Siege said, yeah, that's all I do. Yeah, that's how I got good at trading, guys. It's really just a lot of testing and testing and testing, and then figuring out what changes you need to make to improve on the strategy. But yeah, looking at the strategy right here for the momentum pullback scalp. Oh wait, this is the momentum pullback scalp. I think the you just have to rename this one. But see, I just realized that it says momentum pullback scalp because this is for the market flow V2, right? It's okay. You just need to go in and then republish again with the other name. Did you create a test for the momentum pullback scalp as well? Those are like the most popular strategies. MPSV2, which is momentum pullback scalp. Okay, gotcha. No worries. It's cool. Yeah, I think the main strategies that you would probably want to look at would be, or if you ever want to go and just, you had free time to create some testing for it, it'd be like yeah, momentum scalp V2. I know I call them V2, but a lot of them are just, for some reason, we just added something different, which made it a V2, but it's the same strategy. So like that, you had the market flow V2, which is, again, it's like a little nuance that we added to make it a V2. 10-minute snipe strategy, which this could be used on any time frame really. We just used 10-minute because it was a little more, it was easier and slower. Um, yeah, is there any other strategies you guys are curious about? I mean, I guess the V1 variation too, right? I forget what was like another common one. I guess the momentum scalp. So the momentum scalp is basically gonna, or yeah, if you wanted to, these are just a list of like, because I know like once you have one of these built up, Missy just gonna be really easy to make the others, right? Because all the strategies are based off the momentum. So I think like once you have like an idea of like how to make these, or you've already have an idea, it's gonna be really easy for you to put together others. But yeah, guys, if there's anybody here in the chat, if you guys wanna, okay, so perfect right there, high low momentum scalp, and I'll send this list over to you, Message. Um, because I have a lot, like it's a whole library of strategies, right, that I've created over the years. Here, I'll just pull it up real quick and I'll see if there's anything that would be useful. It's always good to have these types of back tests just to, and even if the back test is a little off, which is it's gonna be off, the back tests are never gonna be 100%. Um, okay, so let me just put this over here. This is what the course looks like. Let me look back at our old strategies. Yeah, triple confluence. Liquidity push is a good strategy, but I feel like there's going to be too many entries for that one. I don't know if you looked at it. It's a good strategy, but there's so many liquidity lines that I don't think it's going to be good. Like we'd have to like really dial in on that one and figure out which one, like which liquidity is actually important and which one isn't. Don't bother with the micro scalp. I don't think this one's going to be good. Pivot scalp. So the pivot scalp is basically like, I mean, you've probably seen these videos. Machines they're all kind of the same. Like Market Flow V2 is basically the pivot scalp. It's just different entry points. Um, I guess a high-low scalp could be good too. There's a lot of high-low scalp those. Um, let's see. Okay, cool. Yeah. So Masij basically made all the directional ones. It's perfect. I think that's like the key thing. That's all that's really needed. CJ said, don't forget the A++ with MPS V2. I totally forgot what the A++ even was. So MPS V2. Oh yeah, the A++ used the confluence, right? The V1 confluence before it. Okay, cool. I mean, Masich pretty much made all of the directional strategies. I think the only directional strategy that's not listed on here would be the snipe strategy, Masich, which would be it'd be farther down, like yeah, it's this one right here. I'll send it to you, Masich. Yeah, it's like farther down. It's like in the like it's one of the older strategies. That's like if you pull up the course, Missy, just go down like past the modules. It's going to be under the scalp strategies, like down here. And then I have a video of the demonstrations too right next to it. Yeah, let me check Missy. So Missy said, let's refresh it. And let me remove and pull it back, put it back on. Yeah. So the name was corrected. Thanks, Masish, for fixing that. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna stick to the algo. I mean, obviously for now, and then we're gonna use these we're gonna use these back tests to identify, how we could use this in confluence with what we're already doing. It's just improving, right? We're always gonna be improving and looking for different edges in the market. And let me turn off my alerts. It's gonna keep alerting me. But yeah, market here is pretty flat, so I don't think anybody here is still looking to take entries. If the market here is pretty much flattened out for a bit, there's not really too much there to work with or even take. Um, yeah. Hunter is asking why switch to algo strategies. The main switch to algo strategies was mainly for to have a better understanding of like how the probabilities work. Hunter. So like I've been a technical discretionary trader for like basically my whole trading career. I've been trading for about almost 15 years now total. Um, 10 years of futures trading. We did a lot of discretionary trading. A lot of these strategies are based off discretion. The reason why I shifted to algo trading is because I wanted to find a real edge in my trading, right? Because the thing is, when you're trading discretionary, you don't have the edge because you don't have the numbers or the probabilities to really understand like how the strategy works long term. So, like for example, um, I mean, I might have the list here. Let me see if I have the list, or I don't even have a list anymore. But basically, I had spreadsheets of this of like all of my discretionary entries, and the thing is, like, I would always make changes when the strategy would stop working, right? Because I would have to make adjust with the market. The thing with the quantitative way of trading like this, algo trading, is that it doesn't matter how the market's moving, right? There's just well, there isn't really much criteria to change really because everything here is fixed, right? We have fixed direction, we have fixed max drawdown, we have fixed probabilities for buys, sells, and overall. And this shows you the true numbers of like the strategy actually working, right? Because you can't really argue science in a sense, right? You can't argue the numbers that are given in front of you. So all of these numbers that are provided, these are all like set in stone numbers. They're not numbers that can be changed. Like for example, this number wouldn't change because I overskip or I overlapped it, right? So these over here, I put overlap skip for my spreadsheet. But if you were to pull up this 655 trade and say, for example, it lost, this trade it wouldn't like the numbers here would still add up. So see what I mean by that? Like when you're doing it manually or if you're doing discretionary, you can kind of have the discretion to hide losses or to keep losses not available. But when we transition to algorithmic trading and quantitative trading, you can't hide the numbers, right? The numbers don't lie because they give you the exact numbers here on our strategy breakdown. So what I'm doing here is I'm really quantifying our entries and I'm just looking for the strategy or the entries that have the highest probability. So it's just based off the data. It's all data specific trading. And, we're looking for the best possible entry at the best possible time. So like looking at the entries for today, both of these entries had pretty good criteria, right? 648 and 649. The only difference is that the max drawdown was a little higher for 649, but it did have a higher profit factor. The thing is, I'm only looking for one trade per day. And obviously, I'm going with the first one because that's just how the strategy works for the most part, or how my strategy works and how I utilize the data. So that's the main reason why we kind of adjusted to algos for the most part versus discretionary. Because when you're discretionary, you don't have the actual numbers, and you can't really base your decisions off the numbers. You kind of just base it off emotion and feelings. Let's see, CJ shared trades for the day, so nice work right there, CJ, catching that. So this is the CJ's entry for the 10 minute. Basically, your 10 minute lined up with the snipe strategy. Now that I'm looking back at it, CJ, it looks like your entry right here. So we had a buy signal kind of push up, came down, came right back up, and then having the rejection right here. So it looks like you had the rejection right there, and then when it came back for that retest, pushed down. I mean, either way, this would have been a snipe entry from over here. So your entry would have lined up exactly with this one right here. So nice setup on that one, CJ, and holding it for a while. CJ said, hey, Sean, I also noticed that when the algo shows one or two with or against entries and the rest entries are opposite, the BV3 usually hits. Okay, no, it's good to know. So looking for cluster of trades. Let's see, Masij said to check pre-market. Let's check it. So pre-market 6 to 6:30. Are you doing 30? Oh, 60/30. Okay. Good thing I asked. So this is using, what was your data set for it? Or did you use 90 days? Okay, 90 days, pre-market 6 to 6:30. The numbers look okay on mine. I don't know if yours is different. Turn on my magnifier. Unless you're talking pre-market 5 to, maybe that's why. 5 to 5:30 maybe. I mean, personally, if we could find a strategy that works good pre-market, I would rather trade pre-market than live market. Or yeah, I don't know. My numbers are different. Six to 6:30, 60/30, buy signal, sell signal, pivot one, pivot two. Hmm. Yeah, it's weird. My profit factor is at 1.0, so it's a bit far off from yours. Gotcha, okay. Yeah, so Masich said, never mind. Not sure I will figure it out. Seems like the strategy moves in waves. The true momentum is more consistent. Yeah, no, I agree with you. So this is the problem with using strategies with a lot of criteria, right? I mean, this isn't even a lot of criteria, but I think the criteria here does kind of throw it off a little bit because it's not like by candle, right? The algo is just by candle, of course. So it's easier to quantify that data versus this because sometimes it's like, or no, actually, I'm looking at it right now. Shorts. Hmm. Yeah, like Masij mentioned, he said, yeah, this strategy requires too much discretion to put into an accurate algo. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because I'm looking at this right here. I don't think it accurately identifies all of the entries specifically. Um, I mean, it probably does to an extent, but I think because it looks like, so the problem with this here, oh, okay, so here's one more thing that I think would need to be incorporated. It's going to be the direction of trend. I think that might be the thing that needs to be added because I think that's one of the criteria. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, Masij, but I think that's one of the criteria that needs to be incorporated. Is like, for example, here, or maybe it is incorporated. I don't know if you did that, but yeah, basically, yeah, yeah, sure. So, you want the pivots, or do you have the pivots? Because so the pivots basically the objectiveness of it is basically if price is below the pivots, then it's bearish, right? So basically if all of the pivots are below the red one, oh the trend meter. Okay, yeah, I'll send you the trend meter. I'll send it on Discord. Um, but basically the trend that I use to identify for this specific strategy is if Pivots three, one, two, and three are below pivot four. It's going to be in a bearish trend, and then vice versa. When all the pivots are above pivot, basically, like if all the pivots are below pivot four, yeah, exactly. I think that's the easiest way to do it because the trend meter is not going to be very accurate because it repaints. So I don't think the trend meter would be too useful. That's why I don't use it myself anymore. I used to just use it as a confluence, right? This one down here, it was just a confluence to see if it was green or red, but it repaints. That's why I don't think this is a good criteria for the trend. The better criteria is if all pivots are below pivot four. So basically the red one. If all of them are below, then it's bearish. And then vice versa. If all the pivots are above the red one, then they're bullish. I think that's going to help with the criteria a lot because this strategy is based off trend and momentum. So basically, you're looking for price to establish momentum, retrace, continuation, right? So like it wouldn't take any sells here. This is why the numbers kind of suck because it's taking sells here in an upwards trend. Yeah, I think that's the missing piece that would help this a lot. Yeah, because you wouldn't want to take trades that are going against the trend, of course, like based off the direction specifically. Let's see. So Hunter said for real algo trading, quant trading isn't it team of programmers with PhDs that work in institutions that require constant updates to work? No. So I think what you're talking about is it's more of a high frequency type trading, Hunter. I think you have like a different understanding of like what algo trading is. Algo trading is really just having is quantitating a strategy, making a strategy quantitative, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like so what Masij mentioned is, the algo is just us. We are the algo because we are identifying the edge in the market. The thing with like those teams of quants and programmers with PhDs, they're looking for tiny edges in order flow. Like basically, they're looking for little inconsistencies to basically arbitrage an entry, right? Or arbitrage strategy. Like for example, if they're looking for these little micro moves to just take trades here and there like that, we're not on that scale. Well, most people are never going to be on that scale because that costs so much money and there's so many fees that have to be put into taking entries like that. Like because you have to factor in the spread, right? The spread's 2 points. So like in order for you to even make any profit, it'd have to move at least 2 points, right? In a sense. So yeah, Hunter, what you're mentioning is like that's like Blackstone, right? Like those are like the huge companies that are going for those micro moves. Those are like algo bots that are just what we're doing with this quantitative trading. Anybody could do quantitative trading. You just have to have the statistics and the data, right? So like for example here, having the numbers and the probabilities, this is what makes it quantitative. You're not taking trades based off like trend, right? Like we don't care if the trend is going up, we don't care if the trend's going down, we don't care if like there's no the strategy is as simple as possible. We're just basing it off the probabilities here. And we're trading off the probabilities. That's what makes it quantitative. Vice versa, if you're a discretionary trader, you're looking for something like market structure, right? Like say for example here, you're looking for price to come and bounce off a support level, right? That's what makes it discretionary because the thing is you're not saying every time it bounces you're going to take a buy. You're saying, if it bounces and it confirms, then okay, you're taking a buy there. And that's what makes it discretionary. With quantitative, you're taking every single entry or you're taking every entry that meets your criteria. So for example, if price was to bounce off here and your criteria was second bounce, take the entry, it wouldn't matter for the confirmation because you're just waiting for it to bounce and you take the entry there. Like it's just like a set order. That's what makes it different, quantitative versus discretionary. Because when you're quantitative, you're using the data to really make your decisions. Yeah, exactly. So Masij mentioned, yeah, quant just means you create your own strategy as an algo so you get the data. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're doing. So like we have a strategy that we're using and all the requirements are systematic, right? It's like if this happens and this happens, then there's an entry. And that's how these here are identified. So basically, the way that this algo has identified this is that every day at 8 or at 6:49, it tracks momentum. So every day at 6:49, it tracks momentum. There's only one criteria. It's if this trade hits. So the way that this algo works is basically every minute it has a 60/30 TP stop loss and it just follows it every single minute. So like what we're looking at right here is at 6:39 or 6:49, we have 21 trade samples, right? And for 21 trades at this exact time every single day at 6:49, it shows that there's a move of price. And with that move of price, it's won 57% of the times. So, yeah, with that being the case, and if you want to go on a higher scale, we could also go to entire history or anything like that. Okay, Masij updated it one more time. And I know this session's running a little long, guys. If you guys want to get off, it's completely fine. This is going to be recorded. It's just, I think me and Masij are going through, we're brainstorming really deep right now, and we're just going in flow. So we'll see if we got this right here. Buy signal, sell signal, UTC 8, 6:30. All right, let's update it. Um, so I'm not sure if this is updated. Is this updated, Masij? I might have to re-put it back on because I see that there's still a short entry right here. Gotcha. Yeah, so I'll add it again. Yeah, because I noticed there's still a short entry right there. Let's see. Question from Rev. Rev said, just confirming you're not going live on 24 and 26. Is that correct? Yes, that's correct, Rev. We're taking the week off. Reason for 24th is because we have a half day. Volatility is really slow, and then same with the 26th. If you guys want to trade, I'll probably be on Discord. So if you want to be on Discord, I'll probably be on Discord and we can talk about it. But I'll wake up in the morning and I'll see if the market sucks. And if the market sucks, I'm probably just gonna go back to sleep. That's probably what's gonna happen. It's gonna be really slow tomorrow. I know it's gonna be slow. So yeah, refs, it sounds good. Didn't want to miss hanging out with y'all. Yeah, no, definitely. Um, but yeah, I think the market's gonna be really slow tomorrow. If you guys don't hear from me, it's probably because I woke up and I saw the market was just dead, and there was just no point in actually looking at the market. So let me refresh this real quick and see if. All right, I'm excited now because it seems like this would be good. I think that was the key thing, right? It was really just we had to fix the trend. That was like the last point. Buy signal, sell signal. Oh wow, the numbers have changed a lot. Quite a bit, huh? Okay, let's go to 6:30 to 8. I'd like to do pre-market, but I feel like pre-market's gonna be too choppy. But we could always play around with it. 60:30. Hmm. The numbers still seem off for some reason. I don't know if yours is the same, Ashish. Buy signal. Oh yeah, my bad. There we go. And we'll turn on the bar magnifier. Oh yeah, no. So the probabilities definitely went up a whole lot. I mean, that's good. I think that's pretty solid overall. So I mean, yeah, it looks good. This is a 41% average. Let's see for a year data. Anything above 33% is profitable, right? So I think that's the main thing to really, yeah, on a longer scale, it's gonna have some decay, of course. But then in a situation like that, you would just have to have some sort of criteria to avoid this type of market. And the thing with this strategy that is that it only really works well in a very trending market, right? So I think that's a key thing to keep in mind. So like long term, this is using 2,503 trades. The profitability is still 35%, which is, and the profit factor is above one. So it's I think it's still a good strategy long term. If you go on a shorter scale, I mean 7 days isn't going to make a, let's do 30 days. Yeah, the 30 days is actually pretty good. You just have to know when to apply the strategy, right? Because this is a trending strategy. So obviously market's been moving a lot lately. And yeah, I mean it's pretty good for the most part. So definitely something to play with. Yeah, CJ said I'm cool with the session running longer. I love ideas that are coming from it. Yeah, no, typically when you get into this like flow state where you're kind of like seeing things, this is how I am usually by myself. Like I'm glad we have Masih here to kind of work with us now because like before I would do a lot of this stuff and I just wouldn't have any it would just be me kind of with ideas, but like now that Masij is here, it's kind of like I have ideas and I could pass them on to Masij and he can kind of make these changes. But yeah, so this is a sample of 85 trades. This is actually pretty good. You can see there's a dead period right here between like November 20, well, this was Thanksgiving, of course, but um basically there's a dead period and then it starts to pick up really nicely. And you can even play around with it even more. So like for example here, like if you wanted to just do like 6:30 to 7:30. We're at 49 right now. Let's see what the probabilities look like on this. Yeah, it's even better, right? It's 46% now. Yeah, so Masij, I think this is a good period right here. It's at 1.7, 46%. Yeah, see, so look, I'm cutting it down even more. It's at 2.5. So if you just trade this strategy from 6:30 to 7:15, you have a 55. This is actually really good, Masij. It's crazy, right? This is a profit factor of 2.5. So if we cut it down to where the volatility is just high, like basically the first 45 minutes, the max equity drawdown is only 4%. This is actually a really, really good strategy. 55%, that's crazy for a 1 to 2. Yeah, so like I mentioned before, guys, like this is, if you take like if you could kind of dial it down to like what because it's a trending strategy. So like for the most part, you only want to trade when the market's trending. So for example, right here, price pushes up, market opens up, comes right back up further, entry would happen right there, and you only take the buys here. Yeah, Messi said, damn, I'm glad I did this. This is like 3/4 of the way to a unicorn strategy, just a couple more filters. Yeah, because that's a sweet spot, I think. So maybe if let's see, it's at 55. Let's take off market open because obviously there's like spikes that happen right there. It's a little less, but it's still pretty good. 6:30 to 7 o'clock, let's see. Okay, yeah, so it looks like you just have to extend out until like 7:15. And then what you can do here too is you can even adjust the targets. So instead of 60/30, this could be like a 40/20 because it's a fixed no, it's about the same. Or even 30/15. No, it's about the same. I think 60/30 seems like a good number for the 1 minute. I don't know, 7:35. Yeah, I think 60/30 is kind of where it should be at. Pretty good. 55%, 2.5. If we do 90 days. I mean, yeah, you'll see there's some dead period here, September, but for the most part, I mean, it's good. This is for year data. Yeah, so there goes some criteria right there. This is going to be a little more complicated. Um, what CJ mentioned for the A plus plus. Um, but it could be quantified too. It's just a little more criteria that would need to be added. But yeah, so here's the data for a whole year. Let's do entire history. So this is going to be for long term for this market flow V2. Let's see what it looks like. There's going to be a lot of trades. I already know it. So 1,400 trades. It's still profitable. It's just the profit factor is not super crazy. But yeah, the 30-day average is actually really good. You just have to know when to apply and when not to. If the market's dead, then obviously you just wouldn't apply it. So this was the entry right here. Yeah. So if you're applying this strategy, it looks like if you were to do it within this time period, there would be like one entry per day that would come up. This was the one from today, so price pretty much kind of lingered around for a little bit. I mean, unless you wanted to get in here from like, oh, okay, I see why. Yeah, no. So yeah, the criteria that Masij set up was nice because right here, this would be a choppy trend, so it wouldn't be take it. It would wait for the trend to actually establish right here. So today would have been a win. I'm curious to see what yesterday's looks like. Um, okay, so I'm looking at this right here. It's not going to be super like I think this one right here was um I think this is an incorrect entry, but it's okay. I mean, we can't be perfect with this one. So like looking at this right here, this was there was no rejection, but it looks like there might have been like because this is what happens when you quantify it. There might be a little rejection right here off this candle, but it's yeah, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to see this one. Yeah, CJ said, yeah, when the pivots are flat, that's when he doesn't apply MPFE2. I agree. Ashish said, Sean, do you know why it was so good recently? Like it was flat for a while and then it recently shot up if you look at the data. Um, well, for this over here, I think it was mainly because of the holidays. Because this was like Thanksgiving week and or let's see, let's go a little further. 90 days. There was a lot of stuff happening around this period. So like I know prior to this we had the government shutdown. So there wasn't a lot of, I mean, like, yeah, between this whole period here, there's like government shutdown, there was holidays, there's stuff like that. That's the only thing I can think of. There was really like no news causing volatility because we were trading around this period too, and it was just like kind of flat, right? For the most part. This is why the algo entries work better during this period, and we use the 40-20 TP stop loss because there just wasn't a lot of volatility. Let's see, Masich said, but when you went to entire history, there was just flat for 2 years up and down, then it shot up recently. Let's do that. So entire history. Yeah, let's check. Yeah, CJ said, thanks. Yeah, Bernard predicts a lot of K2 strats before they happen. I agree. Let's see. So it was flat. Let's see, which area were you looking at, Masij? Yeah, because I know it was flat like right here. Or are you talking about down here? I mean, there was a lot of losses here, it looks like. So like in 2023, there was a lot of losses. And then, yeah, okay, I see what you mean. It was kind of choppy, and then all of a sudden it started to really shoot up in October, right? Here, let's see. We can kind of like clump this into data here. So like, for example, right here, a lot of drawdown, right? So a lot of drawdown between basically January 2023 up until March. And then from here, it was just really flat. So from March 2023 up until July 2023, so about 3 or 4 months, it was flat. And then it shot up right here. And then it came down for a bit. And then it shot up right here. And then it was just really flat for like a while. Um, Yeah, so Trump start. So that's one thing too. So what CJ just mentioned, he said that was during the Biden administration. I remember during this period, yeah, during when Biden was president, the market was just really slow, right? There's no directional trend. So I think that's why this strategy here kind of flopped for a little bit because this is based off momentum, right? It's based off momentum and trend. So if the market's not trending, it's not going to work out very well. Um, yeah, because Trump became president. I don't even remember. Was he president this year or last year? But I know he was president recently. So, yeah. So here's a problem with this specific strategy. And like a lot of the strategies that we're applying, I think if you were to pull the data, Message, like from the market flow V2 to the MPS V2 to the V1 variation, you're going to see that certain strategies are really work really well during a period and then they start to flatten out. And then you look at the other strategy and then it works very well and then it starts to flatten out. That's why like, so let me see if I have my data here. I still have my data from my older strategies. Um, Yeah, because so that's why we always, I mean, this is why we always traded the strategies over like we would change strategies every so often. Let me see, what was it? I forgot where I saved it. Trade journal. This isn't the exact one though. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, here we go. I think I have it here. No, is it on the Discord, man? I forget where I put this stuff. Oh, there we go. Okay, so official trades. I got so many journals here. They're actually not on here. 2024. Okay, yeah, so looking at these here, you'll see that we shifted strategies a lot throughout the years because a lot of these strategies are seasonal, right? It's either the trend's really heavy, the trend's really low. But you can see over here, I have all of my strategies listed. We went from like breakout B3 continuation, and then that stopped working for a little bit. So we did the PRB, which is a breakout strategy. And then one strategy that I saw worked very well for a long period of time was the breakout V3. So I don't know if you made one for that, Message, but that's something that was consistent over time. And then there was a period here where the market flow was really good, right? We applied the market flow from like June 2024 up until August, September. And here's Alina, here, baby. Yeah, but so that's basically like, if you apply the strategies and you have the test for a lot of them, you're gonna see that there's gonna be a lot of periods where there's gonna be just dead period where it just doesn't work very well. And then there's gonna be periods where it works really well. Alien, say hello to your fans. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean that's the only explanation I can give you, Message from my knowledge. If you want this spreadsheet, I could give it to you. It's so this is well, I mean, this is good to see that the strategies were working, but you can see the profits were like way different too. We went from going for a 10-point target to 25-point target to a 30-point target, and we went all the way up to a 100-point target in some instances, because we were always adapting to the market. But I have a lot of data here. So if you want to look at this, I have data from 2023, data from 2024, data from 2025. it wouldn't really make a difference. I think the thing is like it's the strategies that you already made scripts for anyways. So either way, it's just, if you look at these, you'll see that there's just periods where the specific strategies were applied. Like for example, right here, look at all the drawdown we had for the market flow V2. This is where we stopped applying it for a while because it started having some really heavy drawdown in August. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, Masij said I've never seen something like this. Goes from profit factor of 1 to 2.5 in 1 month. Wonder if I can quantify a system that finds the best strategy for each period. Yeah, I mean, if you could find something like that, that'd be amazing, right? We could have like the data. Um, yeah, probably at some point, or like, how you have the individual indicator or strategy backtest. You can probably have it. It might be too much line of code because that's what happened with the algo with me. Um, you're kind of limited with trading in a sense, but yeah, maybe we could have it set up to where like we just have one drop down where it's like market flow V2, and then we just run the data on that, and then one that's for pivot scalp, and we just have the data running on that. Um, and then, you can have it set to like whatever has the highest probability and profit factor to specifically pick out that strategy for that specific season. I mean, yeah, we might be getting a little too deep, but yeah, I mean, at some point in the future, maybe we could probably work on something like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Masij said, yeah, I mean, you're adapting so fast. The algo can't do this unless you have tons of funds. If I had a couple million, I could do this, but we don't have that type of funding. Yeah, exactly. That's why for me, it took a lot of my discretion to really make those adjustments and make the changes to the strategies. Um, because like you said, we are the algo. We're the person that's really determining what works and what doesn't. And with me having my trading experience background, obviously I'm able to to adapt with the market a lot quicker than say a person that doesn't have the experience. All right, Rev, we'll see you back here on Monday. So yeah, Merry Christmas to you, and yeah, enjoy your holidays. Masij mentioned this is what giant quants do. They adapt so fast because they have deep learning AIs. Yeah, exactly. It's like a super brain, right? With me, I'm like a one brain, but yeah, with these giant quants, they have super brains that are always looking for alpha. We just need a little bit of alpha. We don't need all the alpha they have. We just need enough to be profitable. And I think we'll be fine. Yeah, CJ said I love the market flow V2 because it did really well in the slow summer months. Then we went into the MPS V2. Exactly. So the MPS V2 is very similar to the market flow V2. The only difference is that we're just taking trades based off market structure, or not market structure, just price action versus retracements, right? Because for the market flow V2, we're looking for price to retrace back to the pivots. And for the MPS V2, we're just looking for price to retrace out in the open. Yeah. But all right, guys, I think I'm gonna have to wrap this up. We've been on this for a little more than an hour past our time. Alina obviously is ready to play, as you guys can see. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Um, otherwise, no trading for tomorrow, no trading on Wednesday, and probably no trading on Thursday because the market's just gonna be super flat. Um, I'll probably hang around. But yeah, Missy, we'll be in touch. I'll talk to you a little later on Discord, and I'll try to give you a list of like strategies that use the least amount of discretion so that we could quantify it. So yeah, CJ said right. That's why I took the initiative to forward test one of my accounts because of how often we make changes and adjust. Yeah, definitely. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, Merry Christmas, guys. Super thankful for all of you guys here. And I'm excited for next year. Hopefully, next year is going to be a lot more consistent than this year, which I do think it will be. And we'll keep making adjustments and adapt to the market. So, all right, guys, I'll catch you guys then. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you guys back here on Monday for Market Open. Say bye, Lena.